Hey everyone, Leslie Hasser with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. Here coaching from the carpool, 2:45, a little more ish than 2:30 today. But raced up from downtown at where we were touring the, Bill Priest Economic Center downtown for the location of a one-day women's business conference. It's going to happen on October 12th because, I don't have enough things to have my fingers in, but everything's so cool. Personally, I describe today as breathless. And it's that kind of breathlessness, excitement. So it's a good day. A good breathless. So it's a good day. So this week we have been talking all about really disaster recovery in a business, inspired by what I'm seeing so many business owners go through in Houston, and which is only compassionately felt because I went through the same similar circumstance in 2008 when I lived in Houston and ran a business in Houston, my first business. And we had Hurricane Ike come through, and then 3 months later, the recession happened. I go to a networking leads group on Friday mornings, and I asked my audience and their 100 business owners and people in business, said, how many of you could sustain not earning any income for 14 days? And it was silence, crickets. And that's the real life situation that a lot of businesses are facing. So we've talked about a lot of different things this week. We've talked about the grieving process of a business that is shifting, especially since you didn't choose the shift. We talked about opening up to really being innovative and choosing new and different ways to actually find business and grow your business, or just make business happen for the next 90 days. Today we're talking all about 90 days. Why is 90 days important? I do believe that you need a long-term vision. Like, you need the big goal, whatever that big goal is. But I don't know that you need 3-year plans or 5-year plans. I don't know. It's a balance. Everything seems to be very yin and yang, or very duplicity with the way that I can see the world. But I think it's a balance. Like, you need to know where you're going, just as you would know that you wanted to drive from Houston to Tulsa. Right? That's a big goal. You know where you're going. Well, let's say you decided to drive at night and it's foggy. So you're driving at night and it's foggy. And I know Jim Rohn gave this example once, so I'm totally doing my version of it. But so you're driving down this road, it's dark, it's foggy, you've got your beams on. If you drive in Texas, our highways, some of the highways don't have a whole lot of lighting, so you can only see so far. Like, you can only see so far. But every foot you go and every mile that you go, you maintain being able to see that far ahead. And so you really have this progression of visibility, if you will. I think that's a little bit of what business planning needs to be. You know the big goal. You're going from Houston to Tulsa, but you're driving at night and you can only see so far. And that's really where the value of a 90-day plan comes into impact, is because it gets you, it's that distance you can see. And I love 90-day plans because they're enough time to get some serious stuff done. I see a couple of my past clients on here and current clients popping in on the video. You know what we can get done in 90 days. It's tremendous, right? But it's not so etched in stone that it doesn't allow for flow and flexibility. I see business growth as, yes, there's structure, right? I've been talking to you about the structure. The book that I've written is all about the structure of it. But there's a flow to it too. That's the art of it, right? There's a flow and an essence and an ebb, an organic kind of formation that happens when you're just looking at the 90 days. So I like 90 days for a couple of reasons. I like it because it's long enough, like I said, long enough to get some serious stuff done. I like it because in 90 days, anything new should start to see results. So if you've ever done a new marketing technique one time, and it failed, and you're like, that didn't work. You didn't give it enough time. I got to tell you, it takes a good 90 days. And 90 days is really like where results start to be seen, but really results come in months 4, 5, and 6. So the first 3 months is all about laying groundwork and navigating and riding ships, if you will. And then 4, 5, 6 are about gravy. They're about where the results start to really show up, and those are exciting times. But 90 days gives you that close enough to focus on things that will actually generate results. One of the huge missteps I see in business is that people choose really long-term strategies, but they expect short-term results. So I'm going to talk about balance next, because, isn't business anything but balancing a whole lot of things all at once? That's part of what has me breathless today. But that's okay. I've been going since 7 a.m. It's almost 3. Well, it's good. It's good. But I got some stuff I needed to crank out. So if we look at really a 90-day plan and what it needs to compromise or be comprised of, I always tie it back to what's your cash goal, right? If you are in a cash imperative situation, meaning it's imperative you bring in some cash, then you have a different balance, a different mix. If you're in a cash stable mix, then you can play a longer game, if you will. So if you're in this cash imperative, it's imperative you bring in some cash, you need to choose more short-term results. And if I use, 5 is kind of a nice blocky number. It's not even, but it's kind of a blocky number. I will have my clients working on at least three short-term goals. And short-term goals are things you can receive a result on or see cash from within the next 90 days. All right, so we want to focus on those. Then bring in a medium goal. So medium is really, you're working ahead a little bit, right? Just a little bit into the next 3 months. Okay, so these are things that really generate cash in a business in probably months 4 through 6. And then you've got your long-term goal. We need the long-term goal. Part of recovery is stability. Stability doesn't come from worried about feeding your monster of a business with cash today. That's not stability. That's hand to mouth. That's the roller coaster ride. That's feast or famine. That's not stability. That's really not where we should aim for our businesses to be, but that's a lot of people's acceptance of what it should be. It should not be that. That's a disaster waiting to happen, and we don't want that. We want stability. Stability comes from working on business a year ahead. So if you think about this, so I always look at what I've been in business a while, guys, so this isn't a new startup strategy per se, but I really see that the marketing seeds that I'm planting today isn't about generating business tomorrow. It's about generating business in 6 months, in a year, in 3 years. It's that length of the pipeline. So sometimes people will tell me, well, I just don't know where these clients are coming from. They're just showing up magically. Magic. These people tend to be people that have been in business a little bit longer. And I'll ask them, oh, what do you do? What have you done? Well, I haven't been busy lately. Okay, well, what did you do last year? What were you doing then? And I was like, it's not magic. You sowed seeds over here, and the harvest is being reaped over here. So if you're in that cash imperative mode, obviously we want to get you out of cash imperative. And you need some of that longer term stability. So you can have one, right? So 3 short term, 1 moderate, 1 medium term, and 1 long term. That's all I'm going to give you here, right? Because you need to focus on short term, and you need to be honest with yourself when you're looking at what you want to do, any strategic investments, marketing, things of that nature. You need to be asking yourself, does this generate cash? Okay, if it's a no or not now, it's probably medium or long term, right? Or a nice to have. It just needs to get put off. Do the cash first, then go into building the longevity second. So that's cash imperative, right? So if you're cash stable, meaning you have a good amount of business. If you're in one of my disaster recovery areas and you have 3 to 6 months of money stocked away in your business to help you ride out the storm, chances are, I'm going to be honest, I was talking with a colleague Randall today, and I was like, Randall, you're above average, I gotta tell you. But we were talking about building that business reserves and how long it takes to build business reserves. The truth is, this 3 to 6 months sounds really big, and if you did your little numbers, you might be going, holy cow, Leslie, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it is. But it buys you time. Now, it may not be enough to get you through this recovery, because recovery is going to take a while. It just does. But it's enough to enable you to put in strategies, okay, that are maybe a little more medium to long term. So if you're cash stable, I really want to see you doing two short-term strategies, because it's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. So we always got to keep those things going. But then it's your choice. You can either do 2 mediums or moderates or 2 long-term. And that's going to be about how imperative, how cash stable are you, and what is the lucrativeness of either your moderates or your long-term. And then balance. So if you're going to do 2 moderates, do 1 long-term. If you're going to do 2 long-term, do 1 moderate. Okay? So you get to little choose. When this planning becomes rote, when it becomes habit, you can add more. The thing is every time you do something for the first time, or even the second time, or even the third time, it's still habit forming, if you will, this process in 90-day planning. So it's really easy to want to do a lot. I'm an immersion person. I like to do a lot. Okay, I know. I don't want you to do too much, because you need to do what you do well first. Then you can add scalability. And that's really, the book's title. I have a book title, guys. So excited. It's First This, Then That. And it's really about, the steps that it takes to growing a service-based business. And this is what we're talking about here, right? First, master, then scale. All right? First, get mastery, then scale. Okay, first get mastery, then leverage. So too many times people want to go in their growth cycle, go all gung-ho, all in, and that won't, I'm sure it can work for some people, but a lot of times it's not as impactful as you would think it would be, versus taking a bit of a measured approach. Remember, if we've been together for a while on the Coaching from the Carpool, you'll know that my view of growth is not about a rocket or a trajectory in that respect. It's about steps. And so it's about taking the next step, the next step, the next step. And you can take these quickly, especially when they're bite-sized, right? And they're doable. And you actually get quicker growth by doing it that way than by trying to make these big leaps and bounds. So I tend to ask people, how many steps can you take at a time? Well, some have said 3, not many more than 3. So think about that when you're looking at the business. It's like, okay, first this, then that. First this, then that. And keep it sequential and building and foundational and expansive in that nature, versus trying to go all kit and caboodle from day 1. So that's kind of the 90-day plan. What do you think? Can you put it to use in your own world? What I will say, I'll put this out there, is if you've been watching this series, and especially if you're in one of the disaster recovery areas, I will share something with you. I'm so making this up on the fly. So what I will do for you is I will give you 3 tools that will help you with that 90-day plan. Okay? So 1 is actually a year-long calendar, if you will. But you can take it in 90-day chunks, right? Just look at 90-day chunks. 2, the second thing I'll do is 87 ways to boost your leads. And I'm a bit of a collector when it comes to information. So these are 87 different ways that I've documented to boost your leads. And what's groovy about this is what's great, that makes it different from other things you may have seen, is I went through and said, okay, how expensive is it relatively? Okay, relative, like I don't put price tags on it, but I said relatively, how expensive is this technique? And then how likely are you to get a result on a short-term, medium-term, or long-term way? This is a great, very simple tool that I use with my clients a lot to actually choose the marketing strategies and the ways to boost their leads and make sure we're having a good balance with what we're doing. So that's the second part of the gift. The third part is going to be something I don't give away too frequently, but it really is beneficial for more established businesses. So it's 82 other ways that you can grow your business. And this really has to do about the foundations. So these are strategies to use to grow your business that aren't marketing. You know, there's such a focus on marketing, and it's huge, it's valuable, right? It's your fueling station for your business, so you need marketing. Don't get me wrong. But the third part of this gift is really 82 strategies that grow your business from the foundation. So it's going to be sales. It's going to be team. It's going to be strategies on time management. It's going to be strategies on boosting the 7 figures if you've ever heard me speak on those. So things like average sale, repeat purchases, things like that really you can actually, what I call, they're almost no cost or low cost ways to build your business, but you have to have a business in order to put these strategies into place. So if that's useful to you, then just email me, say at support, SUPPORT, at yourbizrules.com. So YOUR, B as in boy, I, Z as in zebra, rules, plural.com. And just say disaster recovery gift, and I will personally email you. So because it's a personal emailing you, if you email over the weekend or over the night, I'm not checking the email. I will check it. I check it tend to be on a once a day basis, and respond towards the afternoons and things like that. So I'll get it out to you as soon as I can, but know that it's actually me sending it out. It's not automated. I will be going and attaching my files for you, and then if I've got a video about that, I'll share that with you as well, because I like to make sure that everything that I share is very usable and valuable. So it's Friday. I hope you saw my little celebration post yesterday. Silliness that it is. So find something to celebrate today. Even in, I know Houston, I was reading one of my connections there, was celebrating another 6 inches down. Yay! That's really great. But that's it for today. I'm watching somebody walk up with the horny-toed lizard. You've got to see this. Let's see if you can make you see it. No, you're not going to be able to see it. She's carrying it on her shoulder. Up to carpool. The things you see. That's it for today, guys. This is Leslie Hassler, your Biz Rules Business Coaching, and we've been coaching from the carpool. I'll see you on Monday, 2:30-ish. Should be more closer to 2:30 on Monday, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, guys.